Top WWE star has been removed from TV. We're going to talk about that. Plus, an AEW announcement. We got to talk about that. But the first thing we got to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is something that is desperately needed within AEW, and that is titles being unified, because it appears that AEW is actually looking at doing this. And honestly, I'm just going to be very, very, very honest here. It's about damn time. So, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there is a new report that has come out that has indicated that AEW is planning to unify two championship belts. And no, we are not talking about the Trios championships from AEW and ROH. We are talking about the AEW Continental Championship as well as the International Championship. So this is obviously a very big deal. Fightful Select has come out and reported that there have been numerous pitches throughout the last several months for this to happen. And when Sean Ross Sapp asked about this, they were told that they were given plenty of credibility given to the pitches. So that means AEW could very well be on their way to unifying these belts. And quite frankly, that is the right choice. Okay? I think AEW has too many titles. I think professional wrestling companies have too many titles. It's not a complaint. It's just, I think especially for AEW, you don't see championship belts defended all the time. So this is one of those scenarios where if you unify it, you could actually make it kind of like a bigger deal. I love the International Championship. I love the Continental Championship. I think there is something obviously there. And it makes sense. At Revolution, if Kenny Omega defeats Konosuke Takeshita, he becomes International Champion. Then at AEW All In, Kenny Omega versus Okada, title versus title, unification bout. And if I were AEW, truthfully speaking, if I were AEW, I would do that. I think it's going to make the title feel more important. You don't see Okada defending the Continental Championship all the time. You don't see prominent stories for the Continental Championship. I think the International Championship is really cool. I think what they do is they unify both belts, do a new design that reflects both belts, because that's a good idea, because I think both belts are relatively sexy. And you just keep it moving. I think this is a great idea. I think this would be really huge for AEW, and I think a lot of people would support it. That brings us to our huge AEW announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, this also excites me, quite frankly, just because I don't think a lot of wrestling companies do this, right? AEW has announced, they sent a press release to a whole bunch of media. They have announced that they have a new multi-year agreement for exclusive commercial pay-per-view distribution with Johan Promotions. Now, you might be wondering what this means. Johan Promotions is the global leader in live sports viewing for the commercial market. So this means like restaurants and bars, casinos, just like a whole bunch of different venues. They basically now have this partnership that is being extended. And what's really cool is it's not just in the United States, it's also Canada and Puerto Rico. Basically, this allows AEW events to do these, pay-per-views at a whole bunch of places. And what I love about that is, like, for example, I don't know if you guys know about like Dave & Buster's, for example. Dave & Buster's has a partnership with Johan Promotions. So this allows AEW to be seen at Dave & Buster's. My point that I'm making, if you ever watch my live content or if you ever watch my videos, I often talk about how wrestling is better watching it with people. And I get together with friends for UFC and boxing, but for pro wrestling, there really hasn't been that much opportunity. And it's actually a funny story, but last time when we were live on the channel last week doing our prediction show, a member of this channel had come out and said, hey, I'm going to a local sports bar that's going to be doing like a giveaway, and they're going to be doing like an event. Those kinds of things are so huge for professional wrestling, bro. So huge for professional wrestling. I think we are getting closer and closer and closer to the point where wrestling watch parties in public venues will become increasingly popular. That only happens when you have partnerships like this, which is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It's a really good thing. There has been times where I've gone to bars or restaurants where I have seen AEW's programming on TV, AEW pay-per-views on TV. So the more and more that this happens, it allows for wrestling companies to grow, but it helps these businesses, right? It helps these businesses stay in business because it gives more incentive to people to go to those places to actually watch a show. It's a huge announcement, man. They did this starting in 2019. A lot of people didn't know what was happening. Now it's been extended. It's really good, honestly. And if you own like a commercial venue or whatever and you want this, you can actually make it happen by calling Joe Hand Promotions. So there is a lot of ways to see this grow, and it could potentially help small business grow as well. All right, and that leads us to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk has been removed from WWE television, and I do not know why or what is going on here. This is crazy. Obviously, we saw Punk in the Elimination Chamber. WWE is only advertising him right now for March 17th. However, he is no longer being advertised for any Raw episodes. This is just like kind of an annoyance to me. I feel like it is kind of disturbing that, people are being removed from TV. Building on the road to WrestleMania, right? Like CM Punk being removed from Raw, obviously they have some sort of reason for it, whether it's injury, whether it's they want to sell injury or the viciousness of the chamber, maybe they whatever it may be. The problem that I have with this though, and it's not a big deal, it's just we're on the road to WrestleMania. John Cena should be on Raw tonight. CM Punk should be on Raw tonight. Seth Rollins should be on Raw tonight. What about Roman Reigns? What's happening with Roman Reigns on the road to WrestleMania? People don't realize we don't have that much time until we get to WrestleMania. So we need to start building and building and building, especially after how successful Elimination Chamber was. I 1000% believe that's to be the case. WWE Raw is better when CM Punk is having matches on Raw. WWE Raw is better when CM Punk is having segments on Raw. So we're on the road to WrestleMania. How do we get Punk, Seth, and Roman? How do they build that up? Is that even the direction they're going to go? Who knows? Or will CM Punk be the next person to sell their soul and help John Cena and The Rock? You don't know what's going to happen here. But I do think removing him from TV isn't necessarily the best idea, especially because they're going to be doing some international shows and stuff like that in the few weeks. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below.